House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer helped draft the FISA compromise, which he admits isn't perfect, but which, in his words, strikes a sound balance. I spoke to Congressman Hoyer earlier and started by asking for his reaction to Democratic critics of the surveillance deal.
The compromise, of course, is the Senate bill that passed out of the United States Senate with 68 votes, which we rejected in the House of Representatives on the basis that it clearly did not protect individual rights as they should be, and gave to the administration, to the executive department, this administration and future administrations, too much authority without court supervision. What the compromise does is it reasserts the role of the Foreign Intelligence Security Court in the oversight of the interception of communications. It protects very strongly Americans from inappropriate and unjustified and unauthorized interception of their communications, and also protects them overseas, which the present law does not do and which the Senate bill did not do. In addition, it involves in the court in the oversight of what happened when the administration pursued its unauthorized terrorist surveillance activity in conjunction with the telecom companies. And what it says to the courts is we want to look at exactly what was done to see whether or not the telecoms were justified in responding to the administration's request.
And Congressman, on the floor today, you were quick to point out that the legislation doesn't address nor excuse past government actions. Obviously, that reference to the 3-year period from 2002 to 2005 when the administration conducted the surveillance against U.S. citizens without the FISA court's knowledge. The law in 78, as you know, set up the court. It clearly stated that the court has to approve any such surveillance. Do you believe the administration broke the law?
I think the administration did not follow the law, and I think it broke the law, certainly. It was required to come to FISA court. It did not do so. One of the strong things in the compromise is the very strong articulation that a FISA court is the exclusive means for interception of electronic communications. In addition, we assured the fact that electronic surveillance is broadly defined so that Americans will be protected. We wanted to as well facilitate the interception of communications by foreigners that may well pose a danger to America and Americans. But drawing that balance was tough. We think we drew it well. Some disagreed. That's understandable, but we think this bill is a good compromise. I'm hopeful that the Senate will pass it and send it to the President, and if they send it as we passed it, I think he'll sign it.
Congressman, you say that the new version of the FISA law contains meaningful judiciary scrutiny. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is the information that the telecom companies claim to have received will be reviewed by the court, and the court will determine whether or not, in fact, they received appropriate information, whether or not substantial evidence is present that shows that they got the information they said they got and that they were justified in acting upon that information.
Congressman, how do you lay concerns from Americans who believe we have a court here who meets in secret and makes secret rulings? There's no sunlight here. There's national security concerns, to be sure, but given the type of society we are, we're not knowing what's going on, and we're just taking the word from a group of people who are meeting in secret.
Well, one of the things that we ought to understand is, first of all, this is a revolving court. There are district court judges that sit on this court in a revolving way, so it's always the judges. Secondly, we provided in this legislation significant IG, Inspector General oversight of all of the departments involved, and reports to the Intelligence Committee and the Judiciary Committee exactly to provide for the oversight that's necessary when, as is required, obviously, much of this is done in secret to protect, of course, the United States intelligence apparatus, which is critical to protecting our country. But at the same time, we do not want it misused or misapplied to the detriment of U.S. citizens, and therefore we have provided for very significant oversight of these activities.
Congressman, let's move on to another legislative action. The House last night approving $160 billion for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. That legislation also includes new spending sought by the Democrats for domestic priorities. First, tell us about the 18-month legislative fight over the war.
Well, of course, our position has been that we need to change our policy in Iraq. We need to change the direction we've been going. We need to apply our resources directly to the fight on terrorism, which we believe is principally in Afghanistan and on the border of Afghanistan and Pakistan. That's where the Taliban are. They are the ones who facilitated the attack on this country by Osama bin Laden. The fact of the matter is we have been unable to get legislation changing policy through the United States Senate, and the one bill that we did get through to the president, he vetoed, and we were unable to override that veto. We continue to have, however, the objective of changing our policy. We, in fact, included in this supplemental agreement provisions which said that there would be no permanent bases and that the Iraqis would have to share dollar for dollar in the costs of rehabilitation.
And sir, we have about 30 seconds left. What about the domestic agenda part of this bill?
One of the great victories we had is we felt very strongly about unemployment insurance. We felt very strongly about the Education Bill of Rights that we passed for our veterans. Both of those the administration had expressed reluctance about, and indeed in UI had said that, and the unemployment insurance said they were going to veto. We are very pleased that both of those are in the bill, that we have responded to the needs of our GIs who are keeping America free, serving our country, and very proud of the fact that we're responding to the strife faced by many who find themselves unemployed through no fault of their own.
Our thanks to House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer.